Hello you guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. As you guys can see, I have a little bit of a different setup today. I'm actually sitting on the ground today. I'm kind of testing around a bunch of different options when it comes to where I film, the lighting, the kind of environment, all of that kind of stuff. So bear with me, let me know which ones you guys are liking best. I might also switch it up on you guys next time. I might go to the beach, I might go to a park. We don't know, we're always going to be switching it up, but obviously I'm going to be here for you guys every week for my series while they run. So I wanted to talk to you guys today about the topic that I'm going to be discussing with you guys, as well as what we talked about last time. So last time, in the last video, we talked about emotional awakening and understanding your emotions and really pinpointing your emotions and letting yourself feel. It's healthy, it's human. So if you have not checked that video out, make sure you go back and check it out. All of my videos will kind of blend into one another because mental, physical, and emotional health is a trifecta. They are all related to one another and you need all three to be happy. So today what I want to talk to you guys about is how to get over analyzing, how to kind of get out of your head and really focus on mental health. So there's three kind of topics I want to talk to you guys about today when it comes to mental health. So the very first topic that I'm going to be talking about is that you really decide how you shape your day every single day. You decide if you're going to have a good day or a bad day, and mental health is so strong that you truly do affect your outlook on the world and how your life is run every single day. So that's going to be the first thing I want to talk about. And the second thing that I want to talk about with you guys is kind of more mental empowerment, that you guys can do anything that you set your mind to, and some of the tips and tricks on how I motivate myself to get there. And then finally, the third thing I want to talk about is how to communicate with others. I think we're such social beings that obviously healthy communication with one another and really making sure that other people know what you're thinking and how you're feeling is so important. And I think a lot of people tend to have troubles and difficulties with that. So we are going to go over that as well today. And if you guys like this video, don't forget to show that subscribe button some love and give this video a big thumbs up. Let's dive on in. So the first thing, you guys, you truly decide how you look at the world every single day. When you wake up in the morning, you decide whether you are going to have a good day or a bad day. If you wake up and you say, oh, it's Monday today, Mondays suck, I have to go to work, I don't want to go to work, I should probably work out, but I really hate working out, your day is probably gonna suck. If you wake up and it's Monday and you say, you know what, it's the beginning of a new week, let's get after it, let's set some goals. What do I want to accomplish this week at work? How many times do I want to work out this week? What do I want to do? Is there something I want to do throughout my week to make me happy and to focus on myself? Is there something I want to do for another person that makes me excited? Really deciding how your day is going to go and the way that you're going to view the day really truly does make a difference. And I mentioned this a little bit in my last video, but your neurological pathways have grooves along them where it's basically like habitual thinking. When you have a habit and you do something over and over again, it starts to become second nature where you don't even think about it. It is the same with your thinking patterns and your neurological wavelengths. When you think a certain way, you dig grooves into your brain that makes it easier and easier to think that way and to look at the world that way. When you want to branch off, making a new path along your neurological grooves is harder because obviously you're going off the beaten path. It's like, think about someone trekking through snow. If you walk on a path of snow that has been packed down because so many people have walked it before, it's going to be easier to walk on that path than creating a new one. It's the same thing with your thinking. And I'm not saying this happens overnight. I am saying it is hard, it is difficult, but I know you can do it. So a tip I have for you guys, when you notice that you are thinking a certain way, like you're like, oh my God, my Monday is going to suck. Stop yourself and say, why did I already decide it's going to suck? What are some ways that it's actually maybe going to be amazing? Am I going to start a new project today? Do I have a way that I can get ahead of my week? Could I maybe prep things today to make my week easier as it goes on? Again, is there something I want to do to go out of my way to help someone else or to help myself? To really focus time and energy on the things that make you happy, I think will make the world of difference. And if you guys continue to do that, where you kind of stop yourself in your negative way of thinking and say, no, I'm not going to let myself think like that today. How do we kind of change this negativity into a positive perception? It's going to make the world of difference. And again, I'm not saying this is easy. If it was easy, everyone would be rainbows and butterflies 24/7. And unfortunately, that's not how our world is. So I think really just taking time to reflect and to make sure that you're kind of noticing those behaviors and pointing them out, honestly, truly will make the world of difference on how you view the world and your mental health. Your mental health will be infinitely better. It'll be easier for you to think about the things that make you happy and that get you excited in this world, rather than focusing on the negativity and the bad kind of perception that you have of the world, if that's the way that you're looking at it. So that's my first tip. I think a really good personal example is presentations. You guys, I used to hate presentations. Absolutely hate them. I would get nervous. I would get scared. I would get super worked up. Also, you guys, sorry if you're hearing background noise. I have a lot of families that live in my apartment building, and there's always something going on. So sorry. But anyways, presentations. So I used to hate them. I was terrified of them. And I remember every single time I would get up, I would be jittery, I'd be nervous, I'd be worried about messing up. And I remember the day where I stopped myself and I said, Danielle, do you maybe think that you hate presentations because you work yourself up and you have such a negative perception towards them that obviously you're going to hate them then because that's the way you're thinking about them? And I remember the day where I tried a different tactic. I switched in my head and I said, you know what? This is an opportunity for me to get up in front of an audience, to share something, to teach someone, to have the audience learn something about myself, depending on what the presentation topic is. I decided that maybe a presentation was a really cool thing. It gave me practice with communication and speech to others. It gave me kind of a platform, again, to get up and talk about something that I'm interested in, whether that's school or for work or whatever it may be. So I started looking at presentations in a completely different way. And I also started thinking, like, if anyone can get up and do a presentation, why can't I? Why don't I just learn my topic, make sure I memorize it, I know it, the ins and outs. I don't have to have a note card in terms of like exactly what I'm going to say, but if I know what I'm talking about and I'm well prepared, presentations can be an awesome, amazing thing. And we're all human. We, in general, want the best for each other. When you're in a presentation, you're hoping they do amazing, they kill it, and you know when someone messes up or when they stutter or when they get all flustered, you hope, you're like, oh my gosh, you're like, you got this in your head, you're like, oh my gosh, pick it up, you can do it. That's like the natural inclination, is when someone's struggling, like, we want to support them. So again, if you have something like that, or it makes you nervous, it makes you scared, I honestly think just kind of flipping that perception in your head and trying to put a positive spin on it can make the world of difference. That's just one example I have. There are billions out there, obviously, but I think presentations is a really good one, and that's how I really kind of changed my negative way of thinking to a more positive way of thinking, and it really, truly helps me out. And then I think that is a really good transition, you guys, into the next thing I want to talk to you about, which is really mentally building yourself up and supporting yourself in terms of mental health. I think so many times people get in their head and they doubt themselves. There are so many times where people don't get to where they want to go in this world because they don't believe in themselves. I'm going to tell you guys the secret right now. You are your only barrier to anything that you want to do in this world. People can talk smack, people can hate on you, people can discourage you, people can tell you you can't do something, but at the end of the day, you're the one that decides whether or not you listen to them. You are the one at the end of the day that says, am I going to listen to what other people think about me, or am I going to listen to myself and believe in myself and say, no matter how many people try and get me down, I'm the one at the end of the day that decides how I live my life. And I think that's something that I want you guys to remember, and is a really good tactic, again, for going out into your day every day and really trying to make the most of it, is that this is one life. You have infinite possibilities. You can live it to its fullest, or you can decide not to live your life to your fullest. At the end of the day, it's up to you, and you can do it. If anyone else in this world can do it, why can't you? I think about all the most successful people in the world, the billionaires, the Oprahs, the Bill Gates of the world. They got to where they are because they didn't let anyone stand in their way. They didn't let anyone who told them, oh, that's $1 million idea that's going to be impossible to get to, I don't think you can do it, and you think that stopped them. No, they went out and they did it. They figured out how to get it done, and they probably surrounded themselves with people who told them they can get it done. And if you don't have a support system, if you don't have people around you that build you up, I would highly encourage you to find them. There's so many different ways to meet people, especially with technology these days, or support yourself. Again, do things that make you happy, whether that's meditating for your mental health, whether that's exercise, eating the right foods, whether that is giving yourself a routine and writing down what you're thankful for every single day. There's so many ways to get you to a positive headspace where you can do those things for yourself. You just have to put in the time and the effort. But at the end of the day, if anyone can do it, so can you. And then the very last thing that I wanted to talk to you guys today is communication. I think so many times we overanalyze so many things in our head because we don't communicate. And I have the perfect solution. They're called words. You guys, use them. I think so many times people get in their heads, especially when it comes to other human behavior, when it comes to how someone's thinking or behaving. If I'm worried that one of my girlfriends is mad at me, and I'm sitting here overanalyzing and working myself up, oh my gosh, she sent me a short text message, or I haven't talked to her in a week, or I kind of feel like she's ignoring me, or the last time I hung out with her, she was talking to everyone else and she wasn't talking to me. Whatever it may be, at the end of the day, you have words and use them. We are all human beings and we all think completely differently. No one is telepathic. No one knows what you're thinking. You don't know what another person is thinking. That's why we have words to dissect each other's emotions and to dissect people's thoughts. So again, I encourage you to use them. You won't get in your head if you decide to just pull someone aside and say, hey, I've been feeling like you're maybe a little bit upset with me or mad at me this week. Can we sit down and talk about it? I would love to know if you're feeling a certain way, why you're kind of taking your actions out on me in this way, and sit down and talk about it and really figure out what's at the root. What is the problem? Otherwise, you can't come up with a solution. And I truly think, you guys, at the end of the day, if someone's mad at you or if you're mad at someone else, if you don't tell them how you're feeling, it's just as much your fault as it is their fault because they don't know they're doing something wrong. So remember that. Again, someone might not know what they're doing, or someone might not know that they're bothering you or upsetting you. Like, they have no idea. So at the end of the day, it's also just as much your job to tell them. If you care about that relationship, it's just as much your job to tell them why you're feeling a certain way so that they can try and change it. They can try and make it better. And I truly think this is something that would help all of us in the long run, is if we really just sat down and talked to one another instead of ignoring it or hoping the problem will go away, or just saying, oh, I'll let her be mad at me right now, it'll roll over. I just don't think that's a healthy way of going about it. And I think your mental health will take such a more positive spin in light if you talk about it with people. And I think people also get really worried, and this is the biggest thing that I hear at all times, is what if they get mad at me? What if I want to talk to them and they get defensive or they yell at me? At the end of the day, you guys, you're responsible for your actions and your actions only. If you put your best foot forward and you put your most genuine self out there and you're swimming up here, you're trying to stay above it, you're trying to take the higher road, you're trying to be the bigger person, at the end of the day, if someone else doesn't reciprocate that behavior back to you, that's on them. That's not on you. If they get mad, if they get defensive, if they get snippy with you, that's their choice and how they're reacting to you, again, putting your best foot forward. And at the end of the day, you tried, you did your best. And I think that all goes to show too, when you talk to someone and when you approach them, you can say things in a tone that's nice and sweet and coming from a good place. You don't have to come up to someone and say, why are you pissed at me? Why are you this? Da 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 da. I think if you come at it from like a combative perspective, you're gonna, again, receive that back in terms of your tone and your behavior. I think if you really sit people down and you just say, hey, I noticed you seem a little off this week, or maybe it seems like I did something wrong that's upsetting you. Can we talk about it? People are generally going to reciprocate that behavior back. And it might be as simple as, oh no, like literally nothing's wrong. I've just been a little bit off this week, or maybe something bad happened at work and I'm feeling off myself. Or maybe it is something that happened. Maybe you did something 2 weeks ago and they say to you, you know, this and this happened. I wasn't okay with it. It made me upset because of this. Let's talk about how we can make it better moving forward. I really think that's going to get you to a better mental state overall, and it's really going to affect and change how you look at the world, you guys. I had to work on this for so many years, probably 2 to 3 years before it really became a habit, and it made me the happiest version of myself because of my emotional awakening, because of understanding that emotions are good and they're healthy and they really help you understand yourself and and other people. And then 2, melding that emotional awakening into how I perceive myself in terms of my mental thinking, my mental behaviors, and also my communication with other people. I think at the end of the day, really putting your best foot forward and kind of taking all these things into consideration is going to make you the happiest version of you. Now, one thing I do want to say, you guys, is people in this world do have mental imbalances. Telling people to look at the world every single day and it's a choice and you get to decide how you look at the world around you. While I think that's so important, there are mental imbalances in this world where it makes it monumentally harder for people to make that decision. There is anxiety, there is depression, there are eating disorders, there are things like schizophrenia in the world where those are mental imbalances, where chemical imbalances in our brains don't allow us to think on a maybe normal spectrum of human behavior or a normal wavelength. However, I like to call them mental imbalances because I'm going to be honest, some of the people I know in this world that have mental imbalances like anxiety and depression are some of the fucking strongest people I know. So I don't really like to call them mental illnesses or mental disorders. I call them mental imbalances because I think there's degrees and spectrums to every single human being. I think there are people that a mental imbalance can cause a mental illness or a mental disorder because it's dangerous to themselves or others. I think there is a spectrum on which mental imbalances live, but I also think you can have a mental imbalance and be one of the happiest people on the planet. And a really good example of someone like that is actually myself. I live with a mental imbalance every single day, and I am honestly, truly one of the happiest people on the planet because I've decided to take control of my mental imbalance rather than letting my mental imbalance control me. And that's something that I'm going to open up to you guys about within my next 2 episodes. So stay tuned on that. I think it's something that is a little bit scary for me, if I'm being honest. A lot of people don't know this about me. So it's a little scary and intimidating, but I truly want to make a difference in the world. And I think if there's even one person that I can affect by this, I want to share it with the world so that you feel like you have a support system. So I just wanted to say, I understand that it's not always a choice to wake up and say, am I going to have a good day or a bad day? Our minds are so much deeper and complicated and more complex than that. But again, in a general vicinity, when it comes to the general population, it does make a huge difference in how you look at your day. Every single day is deciding what kind of day you're going to have, if it's going to be looked through a positive lens or a negative lens. And I also want you guys to know that I'm going to be having a bunch of different people come onto my channel to talk about their mental imbalances and how it affects them on a day-to-day basis, because I know people who have had mental imbalances for years, and when they decided to start taking care of their body, what's going into their body, treating their body like a temple, working out, focusing on a hobby that makes them so happy, they don't have as big of an impact. Their mental imbalance doesn't have as big of an impact on them anymore because they decided to take care of themselves. I also know other people who have struggled with it for years, will always struggle with it. They have good days and they have bad days, and at the end of the day, they do have to face their mental imbalance every single solitary day. But again, they're one of the most strongest people because of it. So I want to have those kind of people on here because again, we're all different. We all go through different things. There isn't going to be one solution to fit all. So the more people I think that I can give a voice to and that you guys can hear, hopefully those are people that you can relate to and it can help you out in some way or another. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, again, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, give this video a big thumbs up, share it on your platforms if you think it can make a difference to someone else. But at the end of the day, you guys, I hope you guys are loving this. This is something that I'm so passionate about that I want to talk about for years and years to come. And again, this is a goal of mine because eventually I would love to be a life coach. I would love to have you guys reach out to me and want to do sessions with me so that we can hone in on something that's a little bit more more personal to you, or something that kind of relates to your life and your viewpoint of the world a little bit better. So at the end of the day, I appreciate your guys' support so much, and you have no idea how much I love doing this for you guys. I will see you guys next time, and next time we will be focusing on physical health. So really the physical body, how much it really makes a difference with your emotional and mental health as well. So I hope you guys join me next time, and I will see you guys in a week. Mwah.